Well, good morning, moms. Good morning, moms. Good morning, good morning. It's such an honor and a privilege to be here, especially with, I think, some of the best members of Congress, Lizzie Fletcher and Sylvia Garcia, and then we've got, I think, who's coming next? Well, one more's coming. Sheila's coming. Jackson Lee, she's everywhere. I mean, Sheila Jackson Lee is everywhere, and it's just, we're so fortunate to have members of Congress that get it. But the sad thing is that the House gets it. They got it. Bipartisan. Republicans voted for it. Independents voted for it. And, you know, I've been a police chief now here in Texas since 2007, and I feel like it's Groundhog Day as it relates to gun policy. And you know what? It's not too soon. It's way too late. It's way too late. I don't know if y'all remember after Santa Fe how angry some of us got, because, you know, that was the first time in my career I went and I was at a school shortly after a shooting like this. I had never experienced it firsthand. Now I remember getting the call at headquarters, hey, let's go help them. And we drove down there with Chief Finner, and you all know my team, that's like my family. We went down there, and the sense of shock. You see, what happens with these politicians that we prefer to stand with the NRA, they don't get there to see what's going on. They're not there for the funerals. They're not there for the carnage. They're not there to see John Barnes, one of our retired officers in Santa Fe, that came this close to dying. Those children that went to work the school that day, the teachers, the faculty, they're not there for that. You know when they show up? For the cameras, after it's all been sterilized, to offer their prayers. And I got news for them. We don't need their prayers then. What we need is action, because we, like moms say, we elect people to act. And I'm just going to tell you all this. The Major City Chiefs Association has testified not once but twice in front of Congress, and something happened. Now, I'm not here to tell you how to vote, but I'm going to tell you that I'm a results-oriented individual, and that's what law enforcement is about. The Houston Police Department, we don't make excuses, we make a difference. And something happened to the House, and guess what? All of a sudden, we got H.R. 8 passed. Connect the dots. How did H.R. 8 get passed? And since H.R. 8 passed, I will say it before and I'll say it again, Mitch McConnell, it's time for you to either lead and stand with American children, American moms, American dads, American families, American law enforcement. You see, Mitch, you're not getting the call, well, like I did. My wife remembers this in Austin, Texas, when a young officer by the name of Jaime Padron went into a Walmart. And the sad thing is that it was our second officer-involved shooting of that night. and the phone call came in. When you're a police chief, you get that phone call, Senator McConnell, it's never good. Somebody's been hurt. And I'll never forget getting that call where they said, Chief, we've had an officer shot. We've had an officer-involved shooting. I said, no, I know. I just got back from it an hour and a half ago. And they said, no, Chief, we just had another one at the Walmart on Palmer Lane. Do you remember that? I'm going to get emotional. And I remember I said, and they said, one of our officers has been shot. And they said, who is it? And they said, Jaime Padron. Now, that department had about 2,500 employees. I remember telling my wife, Tanya, I said, Jaime's been shot. And so I'm going to suit up. I'm en route. And I put on my uniform real quick. I start going. Within a minute and a half of getting in that car, I get a phone call. He's dead. And you see, Senator McConnell, you don't have to respond to the scene with the men and women on the front line and see those police officers laying in their own pool of blood, or children in our cities laying in their own pool of blood. America's police officers and first responders and firefighters and the victims and their families get to see that, Senator McConnell. And you're either standing with those victims or you're standing with the NRA. And I'm going to tell the NRA, you're not going to scare me. You're not going to scare moms. We're going to stand with victims and with responsible gun ownership. So let me just close by saying this about that and one other case. Get to that scene, and Senator McConnell, you know what? It is personal. Because for the rest of my life, I'll have to remember the day I went to that door and other doors and knocked on that door. And his wife, Jaime's wife, answered the door. It was a police officer herself with a gun in her hand, because it's 3:30, 4 in the morning. And the second she saw the police chief, the scream started. Had to grab the gun because, you know, she's emotional. She knew right away. But what will haunt me till the day that I die is the screams of those little girls, Senator McConnell. So stop being a coward and stop worrying about getting elected and start standing for the lives of the people that we lose every day in this country. And like my union beat me up when I talked about, I gotta tell you something. I'm not here to keep a job. I'm here to do my job. And thank God I work for a guy named Sylvester Turner that hired me knowing that I've got an opinion on these matters, that I'm not gonna shut up. And God forbids you that if you think I'm talking now, wait till I don't have to worry about wearing a uniform. Because I don't really say what I meant and what I mean. And I'll close with Brewster, Sergeant Brewster on December 7th, when we got that call and starting to roll down there. And I remember thinking to myself, please, Lord, they said he's hitting the upper torso. Please, Lord, please let it be in the chest, but please let it be in the vest. And I'm going to have to tell that family that they lost that wonderful human being. And people got mad at me, and then I had the Washington Post fact check because I blamed it on gun laws. They didn't get it. You see, it didn't matter how that guy got the gun. What they missed is that Sergeant Brewster was murdered going to a domestic violence call. And we know that police officers when they go to domestic violence calls, we know they get killed on a regular basis. And we know that a lot of those police officers get killed with guns, that you can go to a gun show and go to a so-called private seller, who, by the way, has about 100 brand new guns there. There's nothing private about that seller. Or go on the internet and buy whatever they want. And we know that we don't have red flag laws in this country like we need them. We know that right now, and people don't realize this. I talked to a member of the Senate. This is a leader in the Senate. And I said, do you realize that the administration, the Department of Justice, changed the interpretation of the law? And this is what was on my mind that morning. Where it used to be that if I've got my DA here, domestic violence, 25% of homicides. I mean, it is a driver in our country. Women and children being murdered. And guess what the weapon of choice is? A firearm. And it used to be that in the middle of the night, police officers in the state of Texas went to that domestic violence calls with their lights and sirens trying to save that family member, and that coward left, and we would get a warrant from the DA's office right away. We'd enter them in the system, and guess what? They were now a wanted felon. It used to be that we could put them into the NICS system, and they could not buy a firearm. But guess what? All of a sudden, this administration decided, oh, they're not convicted. So unless they cross state lines, they should be able to legally go to any gun store and pass a background check, and guess what? Finish the job of murdering that victim. And I'm sorry, life's about common sense and good judgment. And my common sense tells me that if you're a wanted felon for committing any felony, but especially domestic violence, you should not be able to go to a store, buy a gun legally, and finish the job. So my commitment to mothers, I want to tell you, we love you, moms and dads and everyone that supports you. We're going to fight for you, because no mother, no father, no son, no daughter should bury a loved one because of the cowardice of the people that are elected in this country, that were elected to keep us safe, and would rather worry about their next election and political theater than doing the right thing. So Mitch McConnell, guess what? If you want to know why we get angry, you come and ride with me. Stick around Houston, Texas, because I got to tell you, you will not have to wait very long to find the results of your cowardice, and that's death, unnecessary death in our city. So thank you all very much, and keep the fight going. I'm sorry, but one of my guys is retiring, and, well, it's too late now. It was at 1. I was going to say something on the radio. Thank you.